sir. So let's start.
Yeah, sure. No problem at all.
Okay. So firstly, I'll give a little introduction about StratTalks.
So,
So StratTalks is aimed at providing open and free access to focused strategies cutting across various areas of business, take be it marketing, sales, operations, etc. We try
okay.
to bring various leaders and market players from the industry to our platform to share their stratagems to our students who are looking forward to different careers, to different age groups, over different age groups.
Okay.
So it is my honor to introduce our guest speaker today on the topic of how to serve the virtual sports audience. That's Mr. Deep Drona. So he's the Chief Operating Officer of Entertain. He has more than 20 years of experience in entertainment and sports space. As a former Sony National Cluster Head for sports and movies, he has managed and sold the first 10 seasons of IPL and managed many more events of football, cricket, snooker, wrestling, etc. He has had a lot of roles like airtime marketing executive, sales head at many big companies. You take it Nimbus Communication, Sony Pictures, ITW Consulting, etc. And has always been a very enthusiastic person. He's also been involved in a lot of primetime hits like Asian Games, Olympics, US, French, Wimbledon Open, and a lot of, and the list actually goes on. When I actually read the profile, I was awed, and I cannot be more elated to have you on our platform today, sir. So without any further ado, we welcome you. And so you'd like to share something about yourself. So let's
No,
start with that.
I think you've been more than fair in trying to put together as to what I've done. But yes, yeah, as in I was lucky that once I the moment I got out of college, television had just started to boom. So fortunately for me, I just got out of college and walked into television and television sales and stuff like that. And the journey has been incredible, as in it yet continues. So from I think from almost 1993, 94, I've been associated with television, even before cable and satellite channels began. So I've been doing this since only Doordarshan days. As in, as in
Yeah.
I think your parents will relate a little bit more to your entire community, because all of you all are most certainly kids born after probably 1990, 95 for sure.
Huh, for sure.
Yeah, correct. So nobody knows that what it used to be to have a television that had only one channel, and then later on it had just one more channel, just two channels. And TVs were sold cheaper without a remote, and they were a little bit more expensive with a remote because they don't
Yeah.
switch.
Yes, so
So
even we've heard stories of our parents going to places at like one place in the neighborhood and all watching Doordarshan together for
that is right.
some special thing. So that was actually going to be my first question. So when you entered the industry, it was in the infancy stage, and now you are the CEO at Entertain, and you've already had so many major roles in different television areas. So, sir, what from then to now, plus like before, during and after pandemic, how have the strategies for improving viewership changed, and what have been the evergreen strategies which will go on forever?
So what has happened is that while this journey has been a good 25 years old, what is very interesting to understand is that 80% of the revenue and 80% of the audience, unfortunately, is yet seeing the same stuff that they were seeing for the last 20 years. Okay, which is something that you will not very easily get to, because all you guys are born at a time when there has been so much beautiful fusion of technology and entertainment and platforms where you can actually consume entertainment. But if you actually end up seeing in the last say about 20 years or so, and even today currently, if you put on Z Sony Star,
Hmm.
some most popular shows happen to be the shows which are family based and are about kitchen politics, or are just practically about Sambhav. That is exactly. And then you'll find some random Nagin and mythological jump up. Mythologicals have always stayed
Yeah.
a staple diet. They've stayed the test of time. That I think also comes because of India being a slightly cultural country.
Hmm.
It's it's very nice for every generation to try and give the next generation some roots as far as mythology goes and as far as karmic understanding and some of our religious understanding goes. That's why Ramayana yet continues to rock. Mahabharata will again continue to rock. Only thing is, yes, the scale has changed. The manner in which these shows earlier used to be made, and now the way that they ideally should be made is very different, because you guys are all multiplex people.
Yeah.
You're not black and white television or black. So you all have seen straight away, HD content. So you'll obviously only appreciate things that are cinematically made very superior and very up to date. So over the last, in a nutshell, the big thing is that if you want to keep viewership at a high level or keep adding to new viewers, is you always have to innovate. So this business is no different from any other business. You have to innovate. If you continue to innovate and you continue to add a newer proposition at regular intervals, your customer base, which in our case is audiences, in any other business will be your customer who comes and buys your product, he will continue to always stay with you. And on the
Right.
other hand, and on the other hand, there are obviously then big format fiction shows that have happened very recently. So once Kaun Banega Crorepati happened, then there was no turning back. Now you've got Kaun Banega Crorepati happening. You've got Indian Idol, you've got Big Boss, and you've got Khatron Ke Khiladi, and Super Dancer. All of those shows have a very different and a unique position, because most of these shows actually give everybody a advantage, or gives everybody a mental trip that anybody from anywhere can make it.
Yeah.
So these shows are eventually basically realizing the big Indian dream also. Something that Dhoni stands for, or something that right now IPL very proudly stands for in the world of sport for everybody. So it's
True.
that anybody can come and win a great prize, and he can compete with the best. So that's in a nutshell. Yet soaps and dramas continue to rule the roost, and they will continue to rule the roost. Okay, because we are a very hypocritical society. There is a very small portion of us who want to see different
Something that's
entertainment,
realistic or that is actually
but
present.
the majority of us are very comfortable consuming the same um, kind of content, but just looking slightly more glossier and more expensive. That's it. So it's the same thing.
So for that, do you think there is a difference between India and the foreign countries in that space? Like the way the fantasy world works in India, like everybody is a Bollywood fanatic. Everybody wants something of the Bollywood to be there in their life.
That's
Whereas
right.
I guess around, like, in foreign countries, it is that is a little lower down. They are more towards the reality shows or something that is actually happening in their lives.
So one of the biggest reasons why this happens is basically the density and the level of education that the West and we have.
Hmm.
If you are educated, then you will be fascinated more by science
Yeah.
than physics. It's as simple as that. Because your mind will not very comfortably keep watching, Amir or Salman go around the trees again and again and sing songs. It just will not work for you. Okay,
Hmm.
so that's the biggest difference between West and here. But let me tell you, daily soaps and serials work wonderfully there as well. We have access to Netflix right now. We have access to
Huh.
Amazon. We can see, but there are certain countries that culturally are very similar. So Spain, Mexico, India, China, we're very similar in terms of ethos and how our communities work. So in terms of
Value system, and yeah.
joint family or looking out for next generation. That is why a lot of shows are very similar, and we very comfortably can watch those shows with subtitles in English as well. But between West and us, the biggest question is that it's just the level of intellect, and it's the level of education. The moment education levels goes up, you will start looking at fiction a little bit differently than
Hmm.
the and drama and in the movies. That's the way that they're. Yeah. But nothing wrong with that. No, that's what rules.
So as you mentioned before, that there are a few companies that like there are a very few market players, major market players in this industry, which have ruled from the whole time. So
That's right.
especially in India, like sports industry is booming, but we only have a few major players.
That's
So
right.
how difficult is the journey to reach the high management positions, and what are the major challenges that careers in this kind of industry? What are the types of challenges?
Okay.
Sir, also, I'll just like to add one line inside. For our audience, if you have any questions, just drop in our question box. We'll refer to them at the end of the session. As we come close to the end, we'll answer all of them.
Okay. So answering your question, see, for anything to be successful, it needs to make money. Anything in life. Okay. For your education and your own degrees, eventually they should lead to some gratification. Most times the gratification happens to be monetary, and then eventually that monetary gratification needs to start making a social change and a social difference. Eventually that it needs to have a gratification. Now,
Right.
now you need to understand this, that there are multiple sports, but there are only cricket seems to be rocking in India. Okay. The only other sport that is coming relatively close happens to be kabaddi. And then football, and then will so on so forth come the other sports. Now there is a very direct relation as to why cricket is great and so big, and the other sports are very distinct number 2, number 3. That's because that is a sport that we can play at a global level, which means that we are a world-beating country in that sport. If we are a world-beating country in that sport, then the fan following becomes large, and the commerce around that sport becomes large. The moment the commerce around the sport becomes large, more people want to play and participate and make careers in it. Now, football in our country, unfortunately, despite having a large setup, and ISL as a league has been going on now for the last, say, about 5 or 6 years, but surprisingly is nowhere close to cricket. Why? That is because it's a see, all of us football followers are now exposed to EPL. We are exposed to La Liga. We some world class quality sport. Then when we'll end up seeing our national sport, which is ISL. Now, if you've seen a Messi, you've seen a Ronaldo, and if you are seeing a couple of other international, then you want to see similar quality as far as the same sport goes. Problem. So there is a huge gap in few sports where our country stands and where the rest of the world stands, and because of that gap, commerce does not get made. If commerce does not get made, then that sport becomes less exciting as a career option even for a sports person. And if it is going to be not exciting for a sports person, the industry around sport becomes very difficult to build. But it's a exciting time, and sports in every single country over a period of time, depending on how each country and the commerce around that sport is working, it will turn into billion-dollar enterprises. America has more than one sport to follow. Spain has multiple sports to follow. Unfortunately, India is right now in its journey getting towards building a large enterprise and a large commerce around more than just one or two sports. So, and secondly, the most important thing is most sports have to be TV friendly. If the sport is not TV friendly, then the sport will fail to attract
viewership. Yeah.
If it does not have viewership, it will not become popular. If it does not become popular, then it is never going to have commerce around it. So the biggest.
It's a whole cycle. It's a circle.
Absolutely. So that is why cricket, if you see, is surprisingly on its own has become a fantastic commercial hit proposition. That is because at the end of every over, there is a break which allows you to TV ad.
Yeah.
But badminton, if you see, it's a wonderful sport. It is great that we have world beaters right now in the country. But when the sport starts, a game from point number 1 to point number 11, you get near zero opportunity to insert a television. If there is going to be no television commercial inserted, then there is going to be no money getting made. If there is going to be no money getting made, then uh, the whole circle then just
It's
goes
not
on.
going to work. Yeah.
It's not going to work.
So,
So
sir, on the similar grounds of cricket and other sports, we have a few questions here. So, from other sports, apart from cricket, how is the different? How is there a difference in the management of it? So, like for example, we see that in India, like cricket is booming, but there are a lot of sports that are played but do not get coverage. So, how is the management different in different sports?
I will just touch upon exactly what I said a little earlier. If the game does not have commercial interest, then it will not find its space on television. That is the biggest wrong. So the whole idea is to try and build a commercial model around anything, not just sport, any business. If it does not have a commercial model which is viable, then it becomes very difficult for that sport or any business to go on for two. That is why.
Right.
So cricket just happens to first the Indian national team itself had good standing. Because of
Hmm.
that, IPL could get made. But
Right.
similarly, the national football team does not have a great standing at global levels. So we are struggling to make football clubs
Hmm.
which are of global competitive scale. So it's a very direct correlation. So you have got to put enough amount of money at the grassroots so that careers can be comfortably made and players can look at only that sport to earn a livelihood, then they'll give it their own. That's how it is.
Okay, sir. So now, as we see in this whole period, especially during the lockdown, esports has taken a different level in the entire world, and especially on the online streaming platforms like Hotstar and Prime. So, how do you think that after this lockdown gets over and we again start, having our games played and everything, how are we going to lure back all our audience back to televisions and back to sports?
So these are two sets of audiences. People who are gamers, I don't think you are necessarily taking them away from watching any other sport right now just because the other sports are not happening. Maybe the amount of time that they were earlier spending on gaming is going up.
Hmm.
Okay, but tomorrow when office, school, and general life starts, you will have no choice but to go back to where you were earlier than this. See, what is happening right now is an anomaly. It is not going to be something that can continue forever. But
Right.
what this period is doing, this period is actually allowing 5x exposure to few things which otherwise would have not found time. So
Hmm.
gaming, fortunately, kids would have found time only after you would have finished your school and your classes and maybe something else that was slightly more important to do
Hmm.
and time to game. But right now, uh, school bus time is getting saved, travel time is getting saved, no recess, you are practically at home all the time and you can design your day on your own. That is the only reason why gaming has got more time. Gaming otherwise also is a billion-dollar enterprise across the world. But in India, again, it's in really infant stages. It's very, very small. It will take time to get there, but
Together.
fortunately, but it's already a billion-dollar enterprise in the world. So it'll come here, but it's in a very nascent stage.
Okay, sir. So we had this whole. We actually read about you, and we got this information. Like the second time, currently this is the second time IPL is not taking place in India. So
Yes,
the first time being in South Africa and Sony having the viewing rights for IPL. So what were the challenges faced at that time? Because the whole situation was very haphazard at that time. It wasn't planned.
that's
So
right.
what were the challenges that you faced on spot, and how did you deal with them?
So it was definitely a first time after 3 successful seasons that we ended up going to South Africa, and that was that this problem. That is because people started to automatically think that if it's not happening in India, the viewership will fall, and because there was no precedent to prove this argument, we had a really tough time. But surprisingly, now that the precedent has been set, the television audience, for the television audience, it does not make any difference as to where the game is getting played. Because what they are watching is they're watching it on the same time in their living rooms, and the viewership definitely does not take a hit at all. However, of course, it does take a little bit of fun away from going to the stadium and the local city fans trying to cheer their team by going there, personally. That's the only thing that doesn't happen. But otherwise, trust me, games like IPL and few other sports, they're designed for TV, and it doesn't matter where they're getting played as long as they're getting played at a convenient time that most of us can consume that entertainment at. It will always continue to deliver and big eyeballs. So same thing right now. It is moving to the UAE, but the games will be available to you at 7:30 in the evening. Either if a game was getting played in Delhi and you were sitting in Bombay, it did not matter to you where the game
Wouldn't make a difference.
Exactly like this. So for you to watch it on television, it's going to make no difference at all. At all. And
Okay, so it's IPL, exactly. So, we'll take a few questions from our viewers.
So, happy to.
Yeah. So, one is, do you think ISL would grow like IPL, or like should we get more foreign players to grow the ISL following like it's done in IPL, like in other foreign leagues?
So, ISL, my personal view on football is that if the quality of the game that you watch internationally so high, it becomes very difficult for you to follow that sport with so much gap in the quality of that sport. And so I can be a local Bombay boy and I would love to cheer my Bombay team. But if in my Bombay team, when I see the game on the pitch and the quality is nowhere close to what otherwise I really follow as football, I'm never going to become a fan. I will just stay a domicile-led fan. Why? Because it happens to be in my city. But otherwise, I'm never going to breathe that team with the same kind of passion that I will start thinking about even Manchester United or Arsenal or even Barcelona, which, frankly speaking, we sitting here in India got nothing to do with Spain and England. So it's a very, very clear relation to the quality of the sport. Yes, exactly.
So it is going to go through the same stages like IPL went through.
The reason why IPL is a hit is because the best players of the world come and play, and our Indian players are as good to play with them. Same thing does not happen for football. But for badminton, it's happening because we've got world-class badminton players.
Right.
We can beat the best of the best, and it makes interesting proposition.
So like, there's one more question. Like, do you think cricket could be replaced by globally followed sports like soccer or football anytime soon in India?
No, not at all. It's a long time, very, very long.
Because like I feel that cricket in India is followed like a religion. It's moreover people live for cricket, the matches, the team. So football will take a very long time to actually join anywhere close.
Exactly. So you have to feel proud first and foremost trying to follow a sport if it's national. Okay, and for you to feel proud about it, you have to be a very competitive team. You don't necessarily need to be a World Cup winner, but I'm just saying you need to be a competitive team. It's like New Zealand. New Zealand is never won a World Cup, but it's a competitive team. It makes semi-finals at global tournaments. Particularly for us, we feel very proud about Saina Nehwal and Sindhu, right?
Yeah.
Why? That is because they are winning tournaments or they are making finals, right? To my mind, in today's day and age, and even as a youngster, I think we feel far more proud about our badminton players than, unfortunately, how or whatever the progress of football is right now.
Right. So it depends on the competency and the actual quality of players.
Exactly.
So also we have one more question. In the post-pandemic period, will sports continue to have a virtual future?
You don't need a virtual future in the sense if the question is about no fans in the stadium. Is that what you're referring to? Virtual?
I think people are going to just rush when, when the stadiums are going to open or whenever the game is going to get played. People are going to rush back to the stadiums.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, all of us, fortunately, will go back with even more excitement and rigor, doing whatever that we like, and watching sport, and or hanging around outside with friends, or whether you're going to coffee shops or whether you're going to pubs, etc. Everything will just come back with absolute enthusiasm, because that's what you like doing, and there is no reason as to why you should not continue to do so the moment pandemic is over. This is just a blip.
One more question that we have is like, web series are taking over daily soaps. So what do you think, like, will web series soon replace daily soaps in future by any chance?
No, no, it will not happen. That is because even right now, as we are 200 million homes which have got television sets, there is another 100 million homes that yet don't have TV in our country. And if you look at any of these OTT players, they are basically catering to 5-7 million homes only. That's it. That's the difference between traditional television and OTT. OTT is just because people like you and me are more aware about OTT and have access to internet and have access to multiple gadgets. That is why we can see differentiated content. That is why digital makes more noise than commerce. It's
Right.
really because right now, just think about it. If you check 100 kilometers left or right from wherever you are in our country, as in Netflix, Amazon, C5, these are all distinct things. People are yet hooked onto proper linear television.
Sir, also I think it's moreover about the age group. Because like even if in my own house, if you see, if I tell my grandparents or even my parents that, let's watch a web series or let's connect the laptop to the TV and watch something, they'll still be like, no, let's just keep it the traditional way. They're more comfortable with that. And like I suppose like from teenage to 30 years is the around the time when people are moreover like, okay, fine, anywhere anytime we need to watch our web series or get the entertainment. Other than that, the older generations are still hooked on to TV and just letting whatever is playing play and get their entertainment out of it.
That is true, and also the kind of content that gets played out is very.
Yeah.
Web series can't comfortably be seen in the living room with your grandparents and parents, because that is edgy. It's a
Yeah.
little different. It is, like you said, talking to teenagers and people under 30. And if our teenagers and people under 30 end up spending so much time watching content, then this country seriously has something to worry about. That is why this kind of content consumed at convenience and on your own clock. It's convenient. It's like this. It's
Yeah.
as simple as television is your regular BST bus. Okay, run BST bus, and your
Is the Ola Uber.
Ola Ubers. You will call them, only few of them, and you will check in and check out whenever you want to go point to point. But daily you cannot live in the Ola Uber. That's as simple.
Okay, so we have one more question. Why didn't ICL survive for a long time?
I think in the interest of sport, it should. Because, ISL, I'm assuming, right? Not ICL. ICL is.
ISL. I suppose it's typing mistake.
So the Super League should survive. That is because it is definitely helping club level players get some attention. I think it should be there, but I don't know how successful and how soon it will be. But fortunately, it has got really big business houses that have invested in it. So I think it should stay. But quality going to need players who are fairly relevant to come and start playing in.
Yeah.
For us to continue to follow that sport in our country. So it's work in progress. It could happen, but it's going to take time.
So do you think any other strategies other than the quality of the players? Do you think there is any other strategies that we can follow to increase the viewership in India for ISL?
No, so see, how can you not put good ingredients and make a good dish? Is what you're asking me. And so for any sport, the basic ingredient is the player, and the players create the entire environment and the level of competitiveness. How can you not have that and even then build an enterprise around it? It won't happen. You're going to need the players, and the players are going to build the game, and then the game is going to build the enterprise. What you're saying is, even if we don't have the players, can the enterprise be built? No, it cannot be built. It cannot be.
Right.
So that's how it is.
Okay, sir. So our last question is going to be for our student takeaways. What are your suggestions or takeaways from your experience, from your such an amazing journey through the whole time, that
Yeah.
would help the students pursuing, wanting to pursue careers, or working professionals who are there but are stuck somewhere?
In sports,
Yes, sir. In the area of sports and television. So who are
no.
looking to
It's obviously a very interesting industry to be in. Okay, but the only thing is that, as glamorous as it sounds, it may not necessarily be as glamorous in real life.
right.
Like we were discussing, if majority of the world of sports is going to rotate in and around just one singular sport, then it makes life very difficult, right? So for a for a computer professional,
Professional.
uh, professional, at least there are 1,000 companies where one can apply for a job and build a career.
Yeah.
But for a sports enthusiast, and somebody wants to build a career in sports only, there are only very limited games that are allowing you to do well and build an enterprise around it. So my suggestion is that you first look at sport with a bit of pinch of salt as well. But it is definitely something that is sitting at maturity right away. But inevitably, it will become one. It's not right now. Multiple and many careers cannot be made in sports because there is not because the landscape is not that big enough.
Yeah, the scope is not that much. It's very,
You have
very
to
limited.
it for a bit, but otherwise, sports is about management and sports is about science. So the sports science space is a different professional facet to the world of sport, and the other is everything else that goes around it, which could be in the area of selling advertising time, or could be behind the cameras trying to put together a sport in terms of production, and third is managing sports people's careers.
Yeah.
But we have very limited sports people per se.
Requirement. Exactly. The requirement is very less for the whole area.
Exactly. So it's an interesting space to be in, most certainly. Nobody can say that sports is not an interesting space to be. But it does not, as of now, offer a very large landscape for multiple people to build careers. Opportunities are there, but they are few.
Also, sir, in the same thing, I guess that, India is a booming industry for sports right now, because like all this time we only had cricket and the cricket players who we were looking after, but other than that, it was like, now you're saying, kabaddi is coming up, badminton is coming up, so all those sports are going to come up and the players are going to become more, so the whole industry is going to become larger, like, so it's a great industry to be in right now.
Absolutely. See, for most matured countries also where sports is big, they are built over multiple sports.
Yeah.
Cannot be, and multiple sports at a good level. Okay. So, like for example, Spain has their own football league, right? Just like how in cricket we've got our own IPL league. Similarly, in other sports also, if we'll end up having our own leagues, then there will be a lot of opportunity in those sports as well.
Yeah.
So it's a good space to be invested, but it's work in progress.
Okay, sir, a little informal question.
So
So you've been in the sports and the television industry, which is always very glamorous to see from the outside. It's always a rush, that no, these people are doing this. Like, you've handled 10 seasons of IPL, worked with Sony Pictures, had the whole sub TV thing. So, sir, what is the rush about being inside it? Because it's a very on time thing where you have to work. The management is moreover on time. There is planning before and after, but the on time thing is also a very big rush when you have to run around. Or how's the whole rush
No,
about
no,
it?
no doubt about it. There is no business like show business. So that is no two ways about it. And in that, sports, of course, is a different trip. See, what happens is that at least for the entertainment space, most people who build their careers, most of them are also passionate about that industry.
Hmm.
Whereas I don't know how many engineering students just love engineering so much from the core of their heart that that they're willing to die for engineering and then with all
Yeah.
due respect, but this is a very glossy space. A lot of people from outside also seem to give you little extra halo over your head saying, oh, my
Hmm.
daughter works for Star TV. So it sounds like, oh, Star TV, oh, very good. Yeah, she must be meeting
Yeah.
like, and actors and all. So we are that way in India. We have a very soft spot for sports and entertainment. If you are in that business, it just makes your job so much more gratifying, and you feel very passionate about it. So if you can find passion in the job that you're doing, you're always going to have a good time. It's as simple as that.
Okay, sir. So one of our viewers has a question about what are the skills needed as a person to be in the sports management career business.
Yeah, so if you see, there are very limited or few institutes that will make you a MBA in sports management because
Yeah.
and the reason why it doesn't happen here is because the sports industry is nascent.
The scope is very small. Yeah.
But if you are but if you are a enthusiastic, exuberant, outgoing person who is looking for always wanting to be meeting up with people and a happy chatter, basically all the skills that require to be a good sales professional is good enough for you to get into the business of sports management, and you have to be lucky to find a break. So that's very important everywhere. But that's what it is. There is no general syllabus that one needs to go through to become a sports professional. Yet.
So it's a combination of the general skills you'll require plus passion for sports and the luck.
That's
In
it.
short.
Absolutely. That's perfect. That's it.
Okay, sir. So anything just we would like to end
No,
with?
nothing. So having this brief chat, as in if anybody has any other questions or something that we've not covered or maybe touched upon right now but not had a chance to answer, if they reach out to you or they can ping me on my Instagram, then I line up with you, and then I'm happy to do one more session for all of you kids and happy to answer those questions either on email or on a live chat like this. Happy to just like for you guys.
Okay, sir. So it was great having you with us today, and especially on the occasion of National Sports Day today. So it's been an amazing, amazing session, and we loved having you here, and it was very insightful. So thank you for joining us.
Bye bye. Thank you so much.
Bye bye. Thank you.